So I'll just let the people, we're waiting, let the people know that the reason that we are doing this program is that when we sent out our survey back in June, we got feedback from a number of new residents. They had no idea that we had free services like this, that you could download movies, music, and books for free just using your library card. So Kathy's been doing a number of technology programs. She does one a month. So this one is just focused on the services that involving streaming and downloading. And Kathy, we might as well get started, and I enable people to let themselves in as they go.
Okay, sounds good to me. Hi, I'm Kathy Iglesias. I work here at the library in circulation and technology. So if you have any questions that come to mind after the presentation, feel free to give us a call or stop by and we'll see if we can help you. There are a lot of different devices that are used to download and stream different kinds of e-content. So you may have questions that are specific to the kind of device that you have. Feel free to ask them. Okay, I have a little quiz here. I'm going to launch. And if you guys could tell me how often you use e-content, a lot, somewhat, or never. So it says the feedback I got was a lot. So that's great. And I have another one. Okay. The Lewisboro Library offers the following e-content. Which one would you pick? So we got, everyone said that we have eBooks, audiobooks, and films, but that's not all we offer. We offer eBooks, audiobooks, films, graphic novels, music, and magazines. So you can get all that e-content downloaded to your devices. If you go to our website, www.lewisborolibrary.org, and you go to the digital media tab, you'll see that we have eBooks, audiobooks, music, graphic novels, film and TV, as well as magazines. And what we've done is we have given you connections through there to the various providers that provide content for us. So eBooks, you'll see that you can access Libby or Hoopla. In audiobooks, Libby or Hoopla. For music, it's Hoopla. Graphic novels is Libby or Hoopla. Film and TV is both Hoopla and Kanopy. And magazines is Libby and Hoopla. So you'll see that Hoopla offers just about everything. They offer ebooks, audiobooks, music, graphic novels, film and TV, as well as magazines. Libby offers ebooks, audiobooks, and magazines. And Kanopy, which is, these are what I call the big three, offers film and TV. So we're going to be going through those three services, and we're going to be talking about how to download, create an account, first of all, and then how to download. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is Libby. And I have another little questionnaire here. So do Overdrive and Libby have the same content? Is that true or false? And yes, Libby and Overdrive have the same content. In fact, Overdrive is the parent company, and they have an app called Libby. So Overdrive is going to be what they're calling sunsetting in February of 2022. That means that Overdrive, the parent company, has created an app called Libby, and that is going to be the new way to access Overdrive content. So at the end of 2022, they are going to be discontinuing Overdrive completely. So if you have an Overdrive account, it will work in Libby, and you can access your account through there. So eBooks are everything, I should say. eBooks, audiobooks, and magazines are all available for a 14-day period. Overdrive works very much like the library in that if something is available, you can borrow it right away for 14 days. And if it's not available, then you have to put it on hold. And when it becomes available, you will get an email that lets you know that that content is available for downloading. Now, it does default to 7 days for all three. So the first time you borrow something, if you indicate 14 days, and we will go over how to do that, it will remember that for you and continue from there. eBooks includes comics as well as graphic books. And you can see there's over 69,000 different titles of ebooks. The ebooks that are in Libby tend to be the most popular ebooks as compared to some of the other services. So you'll if you're looking for a current title that just came out, you want to check Libby first. So ebooks and audiobooks, there's over 13,000 audiobooks, so there's quite a few of those, as well as magazines, and that's relatively new in Libby, that they have a collection of magazines that are available, and they're from all around the world, so it's kind of fun to check them out. You can check out 10 items at a time, or you can have 10 holds at a time. You can also select just titles that are over 20 megabytes not to be downloaded to your device. So if your device is limited in capacity, you may want to turn on that selection so that you can download most books, but it won't automatically download audiobooks and magazines for you because they're over that 20 megabyte size. The benefit of downloading versus not downloading is that if something is not downloaded, you have to be in Wi-Fi, have access to the internet in order to be able to hear it. If it's downloaded, it's on your device. So if you're, say, traveling in your car and you have Bluetooth and you're connected to your radio through your Bluetooth player, you can hear an audiobook through your speaker, which is really nice because you don't have to deal with all those discs. So we're going to be talking about how to create a Libby account. Right here on the left is the little Libby icon. So that's what it's going to look like in either your App Store or Google Store. And when you download that app and you go into it the first time, you're going to see the next screen, which says welcome. And it's going to ask you whether or not you have a library card. You're going to say yes. And then the next screen is going to say, it's going to ask how you want to find your library. So the easiest way to find your library is the middle way. It says, otherwise you can look up your library by name or location. So if you click on that, the next screen comes up. And if you type in Lewisboro, it brings up Westchester Library System, Lewisboro Library, and click on that. The next screen says, let's take a moment to sign into your Westchester Library System account. Where do you have your card? And the Westchester Library System pops up because you've already located that. And so you click on that, and it's going to ask you for your library card as well as your PIN. The PIN is the last 4 digits of your telephone number by default. If you changed it to something else, then it's whatever you changed it to, but that's how it defaults. It looks at your daytime phone number and it selects the last 4 digits. So you put in that information and then your library card comes up and it shows you your library card and it tells you how many loans and how many holds you have. So in this case, there's 0 of 10 loans and 0 of 10 holds. It tells, the next line says, it asks you whether or not you prefer to read with Kindle. You can either read through the Libby app or you can send content to a Kindle. So if you prefer, you could say yes, I'll read with Kindle, or you can skip and that will make it go to the Libby app. If you do a search, we're going to talk about how to download now. On the very bottom of the app, you'll see 5 different things. And the first one is a spyglass. Spyglass means it's a search icon. So if you tap on that, it's going to bring up a box where you can actually type in what you want. So you can type in a title or you can type in an author. In this case, I typed in the title, Where the Crawdads Sing, and it brings up all of the different titles that are close to Where the Crawdads Sing. Now this one, it's bringing up, the first title is an audiobook, and I can see because it's got a little pair of headphones and it tells me 12 hours underneath it. And the second one is a book cover. And if I click on borrow next to the book, I get the next screen, which says you are borrowing Where the Crawdads Sing for 7 days. That's really important that I look for that information because I don't want it for 7 days. I want it for the full amount of time of 14 days. So I do not want to borrow that right now. If I click on where it says 7 days, then a little box pops up. And the first one is 7 days. It's got a check and it's in bold. So I can see that it's set to 7 days, but I want it to be the 14 days. So I'm going to tap where it says 14 days. So I've done that. And then the next screen, you can see the 7 days was now changed to 14 days. And like I said before, it's going to remember that I've changed it from 7 to 14. Now I can tap on where it says borrow down at the bottom. On the next page, it's going to say, would I like to open the book? Would I like to keep browsing? Or would I like to go to my shelf? My shelf is a place where all of my books are stored so I can see what I've borrowed. In this case, I want to open the book. So I'm going to tap on open book. And when I open the book, you can see at the very top are some little icons. That A means that I can change the size of the text. I can also change the background color. So if white's too hard on my eyes, I may want to dim it down. If I want to read at night and I have a partner, I might want to make the background black where the words would be white. I also wanted to talk about the little bookmarks on the right-hand side. I can bookmark any page within what I'm reading. And if I go to that bookmark is on the page is going to change from a white to red. And if I go to the bookmarks on the top, then I can see all of the pages that I've bookmarked in my book. So like I said, I can change the appearance. I can change the size of the text. I can change the brightness. And I can also change the typeface. As well as regular typefaces, there is open dyslexic. So if I have a problem with reading and I need a particular font, I can change it to that. And I can also look at my bookmarks and highlights. And this slide just tells you how to place a bookmark and give some information about that. As well as doing a basic search, I can do what's called an advanced search. So I can look and see what is available now. So in other words, I only want to see the content that I can borrow today. Say I'm going on a trip tomorrow and I need content today. I don't have time to place a hold. I don't want to worry about all that stuff. I just want to see what's available to me now. I can click on Kindle and it will show me just those titles that I can download to my Kindle. I can narrow it just to books or audiobooks or magazines, or I can click more. And if I click on more, then it tells me subjects. These are the different subjects I may be interested in. And Libby has quite a few subjects. I would say over 70 subjects. So you can look and see what they are. Date added is pretty much useless information. So I never bother with that. Format is if I want a book, an audiobook, or a magazine. Language, I would say that 98% of all Libby content is in English, but there is some Spanish, Chinese, etc. Audience, I can limit it to juvenile, young adult, general adult, or mature content. Supports is what kind of EPUB or for eBooks, and some books are just in PDF format and you probably don't want to deal with them, but I would say that the newer content, all of the newer content within Libby is going to be compatible with your device. And I can look at availability. Availability is either set to everything, which means it's something I'm going to have to place a hold on, or it's available now. Or I can change it just to look at things that are available now. So from your shelf, like I said, Libby has, and you can see it looks like a little book on the bottom. You can open the book if you tap on the cover. So you can open anything you want, whether it's a book, an audiobook, or a magazine. You can look on the right in Manage Loan, and you can use that to renew or return your book, or you can send it to another device. You can also tap Actions, which is right at the top in the red button, and it's going to select which file sizes will be downloaded. So remember, I told you you may want to turn on anything that's 20 meg or bigger to not be downloaded, and that's how you would do that. Go into Actions. You can see and manage your holds by going up and into the loans, holds, and tags. So you look at holds, and that would bring up your holds. Or you can create a tag. And what a tag is things that maybe you want to keep a list of things that are your favorites, or you want another list of things that you've read. So what you would do is you would tag them and put them in a bucket so that you can see them later. So now we're going to go on to Kanopy. So we have another poll, and the poll is, can you download in Kanopy? Yes or no? The answer to this is actually no, you can't download content in Kanopy, but you can stream it, which means you can view it on your device, but you can't actually download it. So what you can do is you can, Kanopy offers TV as well as movies to stream. The wonderful thing about Kanopy is there's no waiting. Everything is available the minute that you ask for it. You have what's known as a play credit. You have 20 play credits a month, which is you can watch 20 movies or you can watch 20 TV episodes. That was kind of surprising to me the first time that TV was broken out by episode and not by the first season or whatever like that. But yeah, 20 play credits per month. So if there's 10 in a season and I want to binge watch season 1 of something, then I've used up half my credits for the month. But it does have a kids section, which is wonderful, especially for parents who want to kind of guide the content. It also has a great variety of great courses, which is great because you can actually see the professor as he's teaching the course, and as well as hearing the content. So it's not just audio. And there's also PBS offerings within Kanopy. So Kanopy is documentaries. It's there's so many different genres within Kanopy itself. I also wanted to mention that you could stream not only to a device that you have, like an iPad or a phone or whatever, but you can also stream to your television if you have a smart TV, and you can download apps. So the Kanopy app looks, it's black with a K in the middle. And if you want to get started, it's pretty simple. You just open up the app and click on the Get Started button. And then it's going to ask you, do you have a library card? And yes, you do. So you're going to find a library. And in this case, you're going to allow it to see your location. So you're going to allow that once. So it's going to ask you what library you're at. And in Kanopy World, it's known as South Salem Lewisboro Library. So you're going to tap on that, and it's going to bring that up, South Salem Lewisboro Library, and you're going to use that to select this library. Then it's going to ask you to put in your library card number as well as your PIN password is what it says, but what it's really asking for is your PIN. So you're going to put in your library card number as well as your PIN and click on next. Then it's going to ask for your name, first name, last name. It's going to ask for an email address and a password. And then it's hard to see here, but there is a sign up button so that you're going to click on that. As soon as you put in that information, it's going to welcome you to Kanopy. And sorry, I need to get rid of the screen here. Okay, and it's going to ask you if you want to save your password. I always select not now because I just don't want my password to be saved by any of my devices, but that's completely up to you in terms of whether or not you'd say save password or not now. And then the next thing you see is the opening Kanopy screen. Now, the home, which is where we are now, it kind of breaks up things in curated buckets. So it's going to say, okay, newly added movies, and then newly added documentaries, world cinema series, and it will go on for, if you scroll down, it goes on quite a few screens. So you could select, actually, if I want to see the road, I click on the road right here, and I can select it that way. I can also do a search. So again, it's a spyglass, the word search. And I am going to do a search for Harry Nielsen, because I know that Kanopy has a documentary about him. So I put in his name, Harry Nielsen, and hit return, and it comes up with one video about Harry Nielsen. So this is the one I want. I tap on that, and it's going to bring up a bigger screen with who is Harry Nielsen. And if I click on that arrow in the middle of the screen, then it's going to start playing the movie for me. If I have an iOS device, iOS Apple device, then I can also, in between where it says watch list and share, I can see the word trailers. And so I can see actually a trailer of the movie, and I can, before I actually hit that button that starts playing the movie for me, I can watch the trailer and see whether or not I want to borrow or stream that movie. The trailers themselves have no play credits, so it's not hurting me any on my 20 credits a month to watch a trailer. Trailers are coming to Android devices as well as smart TVs, hopefully later in the year, if not next year, but they're coming soon, and it is in the works. So with Kanopy, I can see movies, documentaries, or I can see different genre, the arts, business, education, global, health, etc. So you can see there's quite a few, if I browse, there are quite a few different genres that I can browse. And if I hit the arrow, then it's going to, next to each, like documentaries, and then there's a little arrow under the 20, I can see what movies would fall under the documentary category. If I go to my list, it tells me what I have borrowed and what I haven't finished watching. So I have 3 items here, and I can select any one of them and continue watching, and by clicking on that arrow, and the movie will start playing. I can also add things to my watch list, and these are things that I would like to see someday, but I don't have time to view them right now. So I've added them to my watch list. And if I click on cats, for example, I can start playing that. Or if you look at watch list with a minus above it, I can remove it from my watch list. You can also see at the top that that 20 has changed to be a 19, and that's because I did borrow that one Nielsen movie. If I go into what's called More at the very bottom, and I tap on that, that's the way I can go to what's called Kanopy Kids, and it's all the kids' content. Linking your device is helpful, because if you want to watch that movie on your TV and you've downloaded the Kanopy app to your TV, you can go through that, and on your TV, it's going to give you a code when you try to play a movie, and you play a movie through Fire TV, a Roku, an Apple TV, or an Android TV. And once you get that code, if you enter it here on your phone or on your iPad, it's going to link your TV to your device, and so you'll be able to watch it on your TV. You can also go to settings within More, and settings is going to say, do you want to just stream this when you're in Wi-Fi? Otherwise, you may end up using some of your data on your phone, and it depends on what kind of plan you have. So you may want to just be in Wi-Fi when you do that, in which case you would want to turn cellular data on. Video quality is either you can change it from auto, which is like the best quality, to a lesser quality. You can turn on closed captions. You can have some parental control over what's seen and not seen. And you can give feedback. So we have one more polling question here. So the question is, no matter what I borrow in Hoopla, it's for the same amount of time. Yes, or true, sorry, or false. So everyone responded true, but the answer is actually false. If you look at Hoopla, there's different content that you can borrow. And depending on what that content is, depends on how long you can borrow it. Speaking of borrowing periods, I forgot to tell you that in Kanopy Land, the streaming is for 2 days. You can watch the movie multiple times within that 2-day period. Okay, so for eBooks, audiobooks, and comics in Hoopla, you can borrow them for 3 weeks. eBooks includes magazines. So in the Hoopla world, in the Libby world, they're separate. Movies and TV can be borrowed for 3 days, and music for 1 week. As you can see, the number of items in each category is very, very high, but it's not always the most current content. So if you're looking for the most current content, like I said, go to Libby first. The nice thing about Hoopla, though, in comparison to Libby, is there is never any waiting. So you never have to put anything on hold. You can borrow anything you want right away. You're allowed to borrow 10 items per month, and they have something called bonus borrows, which is content that is always available and does not count against how many items you have borrowed. There is a kids section within Hoopla. They do offer the great courses, not quite as many of the great courses as you'll find in Kanopy, but there are great courses. And Hoopla also has a section called Craftsy, which is anything dealing with crafts. So it's knitting, it would be cooking, craft things. So it's kind of fun just to look at what titles are in there. Now, to create an account within Hoopla, you go to the Hoopla app, and the Hoopla app looks like a blue square with the word Hoopla within it. And in Hoopla, it's going to ask for your email and password, which you are going to create. So you're going to say, first, don't have an account, sign up. And it's going to ask you to put in your email address and confirm it. And then it's going to ask you to put in the password that you want and confirm that. That's very important because in the Hoopla world, you're not necessarily going to go in with your library card, but you're going to need to know that email and password. So you're going to allow Hoopla to use your location, allow it once. And it's going to say, choose your library. And you'll see that your library does not appear. So you are actually going to type in your library name, which in Hoopla land is Westchester Library System. So once you type that in, you'll see Westchester Library System comes up in blue. And then you're going to agree. Now it's going to ask you for your library number and your PIN. You're going to select next, and you're in. You're into Hoopla. So you're going to say continue. Now, if you want to download, you can download again by using the name of the book or the author, or you can also type in the series title. So I want to borrow a book called The Lost Apothecary. So I'm going to look for that little spyglass at the bottom. It's going to bring up my keyboard, and then I'm going to type in The Lost Apothecary. Now, again, like every other system, it's going to bring up anything that is similar to The Lost Apothecary, but I typed it in the way it should be. The first item here you can see has a pair of headphones, so it's an audiobook, but I want the ebook, so I want the second one. So if I tap on the cover of the ebook, it's going to bring up the next slide where I can borrow it. And then I can say, borrow title. Now, the very first time I borrow from Hoopla, it's going to ask me, it's going to tell me that it needs to have access to my storage so that I can borrow it. So I need to go into, it's going to take me there automatically, by the way. And I'm going to tap on storage under app permissions, and then under storage permissions, I'm going to allow access to my media so that it can download. I'm going to hit my back button a couple of times so I get back to Hoopla screen, and then I'm going to select read. Now, Hoopla wouldn't let me take a screenshot of the next screen because it considered it trademarked material. So I had to take a picture of my phone. So that's why it doesn't look like the others. So at the very top, you can see there's a spyglass, so I can search within the book. The underlines there, the 3 lines are chapters, so I can skip to a chapter that I would like to read. The big A and the little a, I can change the size of the text. And bookmark, I can bookmark the page. As I'm reading along, if I have a word that I don't know the meaning of, if I press and hold on that word, it's going to bring up a little thing where it says define, and I can look up the definition of that word. It will bring it up for me, or it will also let me highlight that word so I can make it yellow if I'd like to. I can also do an advanced search within Hoopla. So instead of search, I go into my search here, but then I look and I see the words advanced search underneath where I would type in the title. And if I click on that, then the following screen comes up for me. And I can always search by a specific title. Search by people is not really very helpful. I can search by keyword. If I know it has to do with apothecary by any chance, I can type that in. I can search by the format. Say I want to do a search of all the music, and I don't want to see eBooks or audiobooks, or I just want to look at the films. I can search different formats. The release dates and the data added, I would say, are not very helpful. Language, you can type in English if you'd like. Series, you can type in the series name. If it say the book belongs to a series of books, you can type in the series name. Publisher, probably not going to be very helpful, or the ISBN. The genre would be helpful if I want to see music, films that deal with automobiles. I might want to put in all formats as film and genre as automobile. From currently borrowed on the very bottom, you can tap in the middle of the loan where that arrow is to play the title. And if you tap to the right on currently borrowed, you can resume something that you are reading or listening to, or some music that you're playing, or you can delete it. And you can also view a description of the title. So it will give you more advanced information. Looking at settings, you can see that you can turn on kids mode, and you do that by taking that button and clicking on it, and it will turn blue like Wi-Fi only downloads is down below. You can hide your history, or you can turn it on. It's on by default, but if you don't want it to be on, you can turn it off. You can either download to an internal location, which is the default, or say you have a Android phone with an SD card and you want to download to that location instead, you can do that through the download location. You can link your TV. So if you're watching a TV show or a film, you can link to that. It tells you the name of the library, and also tells you you can put in library card number and PIN. Of why you would do that here, I have no idea, because you've already done it. And if you want information from Hoopla, you can turn these on. They'll send you email notifications, and they'll send you push notifications. But if you don't want to hear from Hoopla, you can turn them off. This is also the way that you would log out. So, does anybody have any questions about any of the services? Okay, no questions? I am going to be sending out the slides to people on the call. And if you have any questions that are more specific, say you want to download to your Kindle, it's not going to be as straightforward because you need to go through Amazon to do that. And by the way, the only service that will work with a Kindle reader is Libby. The other two will not work with the Kindle reader. So again, if you have any questions, you can contact me at the library here, and here's my phone number, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for taking up. Sorry.
No, that's just Liz saying, thank you so much, Kathy. That was great. I have both Hoopla and Libby on my phone, and I find it's very handy because often in Libby you're waiting for more popular titles. So while I'm waiting, I can just go into Hoopla and find something that's available right then.
That's true. You can, and I do that all the time too, because I'm always listening through my car radio, and if I have to wait for something that is more popular in Libby, then I can easily download an audiobook in Hoopla and have it available right away. So there's never any waiting for me. I wanted to thank everyone that's on the call for spending some time with us today. And again, if I can be of help in any way, please let me know.